What is up, good people? Jungle Link here, hope you're doing well. I've been hinting around for a while that there's a little bit of a divide within the XRP ecosystem. I've been dancing around the issue, trying to figure out how I would approach this, and I think now is a good time. For those of you that don't know, Wheatsy Wind, Richard, a lot of the different developers out there, they've been trying to introduce their vision for the XRP ledger. The hooks capability, light smart contracts. I think this is the way to proceed forward. Well, to date, hasn't happened. It's not on the main chain, and they're done waiting. So they are launching their own chain, the hooks chain. And essentially, the way this will work is you will burn your XRP and you will mint a new token over on this hooks chain where you'll have, the smart contract capability. And as of now, this would be a one-way trip. There's no way to come back. Now, it doesn't have to stay like that. And I think this is the vision. If successful, if this gains traction, if people are developing on it and using it, well, the main chain could have a very similar feature where you burn on the hooks chain and you mint XRP on the main chain. Now, that makes people nervous because depending on how you look at things, you're kind of printing new XRP. Now, as long as everything works right, you're not printing any new XRP because you're only replacing what you previously burned, but you can have errors and problems, and maybe someone prints a big stack of XRP. Like, there is some risk there, but I think the hope is here that, they gain traction, they gain a lot of users, build value, and somehow it'll leak up at some point in time. Now, before I get into how this all plays out, I kind of want to give you this broad overview of this. First of all, I think development is always good. Someone building, cool applications and functionality and testing really interesting ideas and pushing the envelope. Like, there's no reason to look at this as anything other than some brilliant developers building really cool functionality. I think no matter how this plays out, that's a win for everyone. Yay for that. Now, let me give you just my personal opinion on how this plays out. I don't think that this chain, this hooks chain, is going to get massive adoptions. I don't think people in mass are going to burn their XRP and mint on this side chain, even though these are world-class developers. One of the biggest things with XRP is its global liquidity and integration within exchanges, and I just don't see this chain being able to compete with that. In addition, I don't think taking the ledger and kind of putting on top of it some smart contract capability is going to make it a compelling alternative to a lot of the other chains that have been built from the ground up for this purpose. When you look at Cardano, Polkadot, Ethereum, and some of the newer players like Near and stuff like that, I believe the core functionality is built for this purpose, and so it will always be at an advantage to just, putting some light smart contracts on top of the ledger. I just don't see that as ultra competitive. In my mind, the step forward to building even more value for XRP is focusing on decentralization of the network, which is something that all chains should constantly be trying to improve. Kind of fixing up the way the UNL works. I've gone in circles with people over this. It doesn't really matter for the settlement of payments, but I don't think it's optimal for this idea of, how do we decide what features, and advancements and updates happen on the XRP ledger. And lastly, we need to bring on some interesting assets. I think, like USDC would be a slam dunk, things like that. You have to pick a lane, something you do world class. And you have the XRP ledger that's payment focused. You can send a payment of any size, any value, and it's very fast and cheap. I think if you start adding complications there, this network's going to be a dog. It's going to be an absolute crawl. I think it will be, just crushed. I really do not believe that's the value play for XRP. Very similar to when you look to Bitcoin. Again, build on your advantages. Do what you do well. If you're a Bitcoin investor, you don't want on-chain DeFi and just really complicated things that may take away from your core value, because then you're just probably behind your competitors in their lane, the things they do great. You don't want to do that, in my opinion. But I don't think all is lost. I think the building that they do over on this hook sidechain, some of these limitations will become apparent. We will see, maybe on a live and open network, doesn't really work for these use cases, but maybe new ones emerge or new functionality emerges that really is compelling, and that stuff can make its way over to the main chain. So I think we're going to get a lot of value here, even though personally, and look, I'm not a developer, I'm not some scientist here, I'm not a Nostradamus, I don't know how it'll play out for sure, but I don't think this sidechain is going to get any massive traction, but I think we're going to get a whole lot of value out of it. And I'll tell you this, as I look at the new proposed rules where they want to have DeFi applications register people and issue tax reporting, it's going to make it very tough out there to service the US market. But I think if you use a hybrid system, like you can with the XRP ledger, where you could have someone like GateHub or even Coinbase in the future, custody the assets, but issue those IOUs on the ledger for trading in a decentralized manner, like that might be a system in the US that could excel under these draconian laws. And you could go from a system where almost no one uses the decentralized exchange, where most people in the US might do so because it's the best legal, option out there. Like, there's a lot here that we can do without introducing some crazy smart contract capabilities on here that's just going to slog down the system. Just my opinion. I can't wait to see what Wind and the crew build here. I fully encourage it. This is what people need to do. The naysayers will always say you can't do it. You have to have someone crazy enough to go out there and try. We'll see it develop. Totally support what they're doing. Just wanted to give you my opinion on how this plays out. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.